Tom, I noticed something very different about business owners lately. I started my career in '99. When did you start yours?
Well, 2001.
Okay. So the thing is, when we started back then, it was a different world, right? It was there was no such thing as Zoom. We didn't have that. We did business every single day. Most of us, either even if we had a business, you showed up to a brick and mortar place, you did your job, you left, and you went home. It was still stressful and everything. But here's something that I've noticed: a lot of the newer business owners now, they do not have the ability to be bored. And like every day, all day, like there's excitement. There's excitement in every little moment, all the time, all around them. And when we started, and a lot of older business owners, almost everything you did was pretty boring.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we didn't have social media. We didn't have iPhones and Androids and all this other stuff. Text messaging was on a payment plan. Like you only could send text at certain times. Yeah. There was, it is. I don't know if it's about being bored. I think there's so many more things that distract people now because of the technology that we have and everything that we do. There's always something to occupy your time or your energy with, and you can't ever get bored. I mean,
That's exactly what I'm saying. There's no real
yeah.
opportunity to get bored. But when we were bored, that's where the hard work is done. But here's the other thing: most of the people that I meet now, while they're never bored, their lives are pretty fucking boring.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Be
when we were doing that, we would did things that were boring moment to moment, and but our lives were really exciting. The moments were really that more impactful. Those things that you did meant more, whether it was personally or professionally. And I think there's some wisdom in that because we're trapped. We're trapped in these boxes that we sit in all day and speak. We're trapped in social media. We're trapped in like all the algorithms and everything else that we do. And what I've really noticed is we keep seeing more and more and more people that we feel have almost shiny object syndrome, and especially with the founders trap to break through to that next level. It's like, yeah, but all this stuff is exciting, but it's really not exciting. It's busy, right? Everything they're doing is busy. People are staying busy. They don't allow themselves ever to get bored. And in being bored, two things happen. First, when you're doing boring things, it's just mundane and it's repetitive, and and then it's usually proven that it works, or you do it enough that you improve and iterate on it to make it more valuable or work better. And that's what doing the boring stuff does. Or you're bored, okay? Instead of it being boring, you're bored. And that means you have to think outside of the box. And I think most people that we're meeting with now that have built businesses in the last 5, 10 years don't have the ability to do boring work over and over and over again, and don't have enough boring time in their lives where they get to think and then say, what's next?
mm,
But then you zoom out and you look at their lives, and what they do is pretty boring. Like there's very little excitement to it. There's very little of the big things that happen and the giant changes that happen. It's like they're just going through the motions on
oh,
their life. But in the day to day, everything's exciting. Every moment's new. Everything is because they didn't get bored. So what I'm trying to say, man, is, I'm wearing the shirt, right? CEO, commitment, effort, obsession, right? It's committing to the thing, giving that effort because you're obsessed about it. And you're not obsessed because it's exciting. You're obsessed because it's meaningful. And I think that's really the thing, is that when you do boring things, your life is more meaningful. All the other things you do or the results of those things have more meaning. But it takes this meaningless thing, the monotonous, repetitive, over and over and over and over and over again, to generate meaning. And people just don't want to do the task over and 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 over again. So they invent new.
right, and that ultimately leads to so much unfulfillment and just this desire to fill in things that are missing from their lives, and that's why people get dissatisfied, and we go through the whole success merry-go-round that you have coined, my friend, and like but this is the thing is because it is boring, there is something missing, and sometimes you just don't know what the hell that is, and and it drives you nuts.
Well, the thing is, when it's boring, you can recognize something's missing and think about what's missing. But when it's not, when there's no boredom and every moment is like dopamine hits, you don't think anything's missing because you just were rewarded, whether it's social media, or I'm changing the methodology and how I'm generating sales, or we're developing a new product, or whatever it is. And I'll give us credit, man. We have been doing the same style of coaching. Yes, we've reworked it a little bit. The same style from beginning to end. Our program has been the same since its inception almost 4 years ago. Well, no, 4 years ago, right? Since its
Mhm.
inception, more than 4 years ago now.
Yeah.
And our methodology of generating leads has been the same since inception, right? It's always been belly to belly, eye to eye, meeting people in out in the wild and getting to know them on a deeper level. And we've done that in different ways, whether it was going to events or having our dinners or those morning meetings that we used to do and everything. Like, but we've always done it belly to belly, eye to eye. We have been super consistent with what we've done. Okay. And for the most part, those two things are not super exciting. They're boring. We just have to show up, we do the work over and over and over again, and we get results. But that leads to exciting stuff. That leads to really meaningful work. And the work that you and I do, and we say this out loud often to our clients and public and everything else, it's very meaningful.
Yes, it is. It's extremely meaningful. And every single time we do an event, I always have this excitement about who's going to show up to that event because we always tell people to bring a guest, bring a guest, bring a guest. Right. And you get to meet a lot of new people that way. And I'm always excited for who that one person may be that I get to have this great conversation with and really help. Right. Even though that's the thing I do all day long, me and you, we just help people all day long. We listen to them, we hear what they're saying, we give them recommendations, we help them to move things forward. But yet I still get excited for when I walk into those rooms or who I'm going to meet. Who do I get to help next?
Right. But now, see, the thing is now most people don't know Tom puts all of that together. Every single person that shows up to our thing, Tom is driving them there and helping them get out of their own way to get there, whether communication and organization and all this stuff. And I thank you very much for doing that. But that work is
Appreciate it.
very boring that you do.
It
That's
is
not
very boring. It is.
right.
It's very monotonous, but I've built a very good routine. But
Correct.
I get excited for the what the result of that work is going to
And that's
be.
and that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is there are so many newer style of business owners that wouldn't commit like you have, Tom, over the last 3 seasons of us doing this thing, okay, to driving people there the same way over and over and over again, to have that exciting moment when we're there and to have that be meaningful work. See, what other people are doing is they wanna make that day to day that you're doing, they wanna make that not boring, but
Right,
then when they get the result, it is boring.
right.
See, I
See,
think what I'm trying to
we
say
get the
here is
excitement.
what I'm trying to say is I think people got it upside down. Like you got to turn this thing around. Like your moments, your day to day, your routine is supposed to be boring, man. My when I go to the gym every day from 1:30 to 3, that is boring. I have fun some days, but it's boring. It's the same thing. It's not exciting. It's not, ooh, I'm gonna go 5 o'clock in the morning today and I'm gonna go at 8 p.m. tomorrow. And I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna show up. Maybe I'll do legs. Maybe I'll do this. It's a routine. Routine is how you generate business because it's predictable. There's pattern recognition in it. You can iterate with evidence to then say, here's the next things to do. And that in itself is very fucking boring, but it
Mhm.
allows this meaningful stuff to take place. And people who are stuck in that founder trap, they're stuck in the wrong routine of, I think, moment to moment excitement and chaos. And, oh my God, I'm putting out this fire. I'm doing this thing. I'm doing that because they become the best employee in their business. So they're not being bored in a role because they now have 7, 8, 10, 12 roles. They're the salesperson, they're the marketing guy, they're the deliverable person, they're the customer service rep, the accountant, the janitor. They're doing all these things. And that's why they're getting stuck because it feels meaningful. But it's not, you're actually not allowing yourself to hone in on one role and be a bit bored.
Right.
And maybe it's time to not be so busy with all these things that seems exciting because it's chaos and it's time to be productive. And it's time to really say, no, 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 I'm going to spend the next year of my life being pretty bored moment to moment. So what is produced out of that is more meaningful. And that's what this all really needs to be about, meaningful. And meaningful to you and meaningful to me and Tom could be different things. It could be fulfilling inside. It could be your bank account is full. It could mean you pay off your debt. It could mean now your mom doesn't have to work anymore. Meaningful is different for everybody. But man, when you hone in and get bored, you could do meaningful things.
Mhm.
And most of the people that we work with have had success, but now they hit that ceiling because it feels like, oh man, the day to day is so meaningful. I know it feels that way, man, but it's no longer meaningful. It's the same thing. When I look from above, it's bored. It's boring. It's like, oh my God, they're still 3 years later complaining about my accounts receivable and my cash flow statements. And oh, the employee can't do that. And I can't find clients. And like, okay, you went from zero to maybe $700,000. Now you're just sitting here bored with what? The outcomes. And we don't want you to be bored with the outcomes. We want you to be bored with the work. That's
Mhm.
what will change your life.
Yeah. Boring becomes such a place of comfort for so many people, and when you hit that comfort zone, you stop growing. And for so many people that are doing the same shit every single day, it is insanity because 'cause they're trying to get different results with it too, you know, and they're only creating this they create a hamster wheel,
Yeah, but
essentially.
but I think you're deviating off of it. I'm saying you need to be bored every day.
You you do, but you ca
No, what I'm saying, I think you were going a different route. What I'm trying to say is you need to be bored every day. The thing that you show up to do needs to be boring. I'm not excited about this. The work should not be exciting, guys.
no, the
That's
work
what
should
I'm
not
saying.
be. No,
And what's
I agree.
exciting about it for people stuck in the founder's trap is that it's not they're not bored in this. They may be bored in the one task, but now they have 15 different tasks they're doing. So it seems like exciting. Oh, I'm not bored because I'm doing this, I'm handling that. They are busy, right? They're just busy. They're not excited. They're not bored. They're busy. And
Busy.
being busy is not productive.
No,
That's what I'm trying to say, Tom, is like I
I got
want
you.
you to be super bored in your role. And if you're successful to that level and you're the best employee in your life, there's only one next step is you have to be the leader. And as Tom and I say, be the CEO, right?
Mhm,
You have to be in the charge of the organization now. You built it to this level so you can lead it to the next one, but now you have to lead it. You can't be doing all the things inside of it. And what happens with that is that means you're gonna be bored now because now you
mhm.
only are gonna have one role. It's not gonna be exciting. Okay. Just like when you started and you're like, all I'm gonna do is develop my offer. All I'm gonna do is sell my offer. All I'm gonna do is deliver my offer. It's like those 3 things is what built your business usually in anything that you do. I don't care if you're in construction or videography or social media or accounting. It doesn't really make a difference. It's in the beginning, you had to put those 3 things together. What am I offering to people? Will someone buy it? And then can I deliver it? That was it. That's all you did. And when you go to the next level of leading a company, it kind of comes the same thing. You still have to generate revenue, sure, but you're just doing development. You're developing your product, your process, your people. It's that simple. And that's your whole job, right? And for the organization now, not for the client. You used to do it for the client. Now you have to do it for the organization. And going to that is allowing yourself to go back to the beginning and be bored once again. That's what I'm trying to say.
So boring is good.
Boring necessity to do meaningful work.
There you go. So not appearing busy, being productive. The most productive work is gonna come out of the bored stuff. I got where you're going with that. Okay.
But they're
It's a
not
very
willing to stay consistent because it's boring. They're not willing to see it through so they can fail, so they can iterate, so they can find why it is or is not successful. So they can say, this is how we do more, or this is what we change to, because they're on to the next thing, because it's exciting, but it's going nowhere.
it's exciting, but go exactly. It's fruitless. It goes absolutely nowhere. It's not productive. You
Yes.
have to have listen, you're bringing up the busy badge over and over, right? It's that that gives you when we're busy, it just gives you this false identity of being productive and doing the right things and having the meaningful outcomes when it's all just nonsense and noise. And that's the thing. The boring allows you to be tuned into the signal. It allows you to reduce the noise of everything else because if you reduce that noise, you can be productive and you can keep moving up in your levels and keep leveling up to the next thing. So I see where you're going with that.
Yeah, I'm saying you got to work at the thing, at your craft, whatever your craft is at this next level you're going into. And in order to do that, that's all you're going to do. And in itself, that's kind of boring.
Mhm.
Right, yeah, there's moments of excitement and everything, but not regularly, and that's the world that we live in now with social media. That's the world we live in with Zoom meetings. I mean, Tom and I connect with people all over the world. That's the world that you live in with there's so much access to so many things, it's hard to ever be bored. It's hard. I mean, there are people out there right now doing the whole wall thing, where you sit and you have to put a phone down and you have to just a lot of young men are doing this where you have to just stare at a wall for 15 minutes. That's it. Just stare at the wall. And it's so hard for people because their brains are not used to this. Their biology is no longer used to this. They're like, I can't do this. And, Tom and I talk about happiness is when nothing's missing, and peace is happiness at rest. When nothing is missing and you're at rest, staring at the wall is being at peace. Can you be alone with your thoughts? There's another thing people are doing this solo dining. Can you go out and just eat by yourself with no phone, with no conversation, can you just be out in public? And even that has some additional distractions because a waiter or waitress is going to ask you for your order. You can people watch, you're eating food. But so many people struggle with that too because they can't allow themselves to be bored. Right? It's like
Yeah.
it's drugs. It's the being not being bored has become a drug. I can't be bored. And it's like, my gosh, this is what it takes to be successful in life is boredom. Doing the things other people don't want to do because it's boring. That's why. But the result is extremely meaningful. Meaningful to your bank account, meaningful to your heart and soul, meaningful to the people that you impact. some cases meaningful to the world. But it takes being bored and doing the boring things over and over and over again.
So go be bored.
Be bored.